It's 1:47 a.m. on a Tuesday night. Your phone screen is glowing 3 inches from your face, illuminating a TikTok video you don't even care about. You glance at the top corner of your screen, 1:48 a.m. Your alarm is set for 7 a.m. You do that frantic, anxiety-inducing mental math. If I fall asleep right now, in this exact second, I get 5 hours and 12 minutes of sleep. You roll over, close your eyes, and force yourself to lie perfectly still. But instead of drifting off into peaceful recovery, your brain decides now is the absolute best time to review every embarrassing interaction you've had since high school, worry about your career path, and wonder if your boss hated the tone of your last email. If that scenario feels personally insulting, welcome. You are part of the most sleep-deprived generation of 25-year-olds in modern history. Between remote work blending our bedrooms into offices, endless blue light notifications, late night caffeine runs, and the baseline anxiety of navigating your mid-20s, quality sleep feels like a luxury reserved for people with zero responsibilities. Most of us treat sleep like a light switch. We blast our nervous system with stimulation, caffeine, and screens all day. Hit the bed, flick the switch, and get frustrated when our brain doesn't instantly shut off. But sleep is not a light switch. Sleep is a biological landing gear that requires specific physical and neurological triggers. Today, we are throwing out generic advice like just relax or drink warm milk. Instead, we're looking at what real clinical science says. We are breaking down 7 evidence-based habits that improve sleep naturally, backed by comprehensive umbrella reviews analyzing hundreds of controlled studies. Whether you struggle with falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up feeling like a zombie, these 7 habits will completely overhaul your sleep. Architecture. Let's dive in. Here is where 90% of 25-year-olds mess up. When we have a terrible night of sleep on Thursday, what do we do on Friday or Saturday? We sleep in until 11 a.m. or midday to catch up on sleep. It feels incredible in the moment, but you have actually just inflicted biological jet lag on your brain without leaving your apartment. In sleep medicine, this is called social jet lag. Your master biological clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain, operates on light and consistency. When you wake up at 7 a.m. on weekdays and 11:30 a.m. on weekends, your brain feels like it traveled 4 time zones back and forth every single week. This completely demolishes your body's ability to predict when to release melatonin at night. Think of sleep pressure like an hourglass. The moment you wake up, your brain starts flipping an hourglass, accumulating a chemical compound called adenosine. The longer you are awake, the more adenosine builds up in your prefrontal cortex. By hour 16, adenosine levels reach peak pressure, creating what we feel as natural, effortless sleepiness. When you sleep in until 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, you delay your adenosine accumulation. By 11 p.m. Sunday night, you've only been awake for 11.5 hours. Your brain simply does not have enough biological sleep pressure built up. So you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you have Sunday night insomnia. It wasn't anxiety, it was simple photobiology. To fix this, pick a wake-up time that works for your lifestyle, say 7:30 a.m., and stick to it within a tight 30-minute window, 7 days a week. Yes, even on Saturdays and Sundays. If you go to bed late on Friday, still wake up near your anchor time. You will feel slightly tired that afternoon, but your sleep drive for Saturday night will be rock solid. Preserving your rhythm. Light is the single most powerful environmental cue, or zeitgeber, that regulates human biology. Inside your eyes, you have specialized cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, IPRGCs. These cells don't process vision or color. Their sole job is to detect light intensity and communicate directly with your biological clock. When you view natural outdoor sunlight within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, those photons hit your retina and trigger 2 critical hormonal events. First, a healthy spike in morning cortisol, which boosts your energy, mood, and daytime focus. Second, it sets an internal biological timer that dictates exactly when your pineal gland will start releasing melatonin roughly 12 to 14 hours later. Sitting inside a bright office or looking at your phone through a window does not count. Glass filters out essential light wavelengths, and indoor office lights are typically only 300 to 500 lux. Outdoor sunlight, even on a cloudy day, delivers between 10,000 to 100,000 lux. You need those photons outdoor. Conversely, in the evening, the reverse rule applies. When you stare at an iPad, laptop, or overhead LED lights at 10 p.m., you are blasting your retinas with high-intensity blue wavelengths. Your primitive brain assumes it is still 12 p.m. daylight, instantly suppressing melatonin production by up to 50%. This tricking of your brain shifts your sleep onset back by up to 2 hours. The fix? Step outside for 10 to 15 minutes every morning without sunglasses. Never stare directly at the sun. Just look in its general direction. And at night, turn off harsh overhead ceiling lights after 8:30 p.m. Switch to warm, low-level floor lamps and put your devices on night shift mode or wear blue light blocking glasses. We all know exercise is good for us, but the umbrella review published by Al-Bakri and colleagues highlights something remarkable. Mind-body exercises, MBE, such as yoga, tai chi, and controlled breath movement routines, along with consistent aerobic training, showed some of the highest and most consistent effect sizes for improving sleep quality across all non-pharmacological literature. Why is movement so potent for sleep? It comes down to two mechanisms: autonomic nervous system modulation and core body thermoregulation. First, young working adults spend 8 to 10 hours a day sitting at desks in a state of high sympathetic arousal, fight or flight. Gentle mind-body exercise in the early evening downregulates sympathetic drive and activates your parasympathetic rest and digest system, reducing baseline muscle tension and heart rate variability, HRV. Second, let's talk about body temperature. In order for your brain to initiate deep, slow-wave NREM sleep, your core body temperature must drop by approximately 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit, about 1 degree Celsius. This core cooling is an absolute biological prerequisite for sleep onset. If you do a high-intensity HIIT workout or heavy weightlifting session at 9:30 p.m., your core body temperature and stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, remain elevated for hours, making rapid sleep onset almost impossible. However, if you do intense physical exercise during the day or early afternoon, and follow it up with 10 to 15 minutes of slow yoga stretching or a warm shower 90 minutes before bed, you trigger a rapid vasodilation effect. Your body dumps heat through your hands and feet, rapidly lowering your core temperature and ushering in deep sleepiness.